Greetings and welcome to Hoplink's 26th annual Reaching Out Luncheon. My name is Jose Piñero, and if I look familiar to some of you, it's because I was standing right here with you 1 year ago as your MC for the Hopelink annual luncheon. Today, I have given the incredible opportunity to MC this virtual event. Again, I am so thrilled to be here with you. It is my privilege to serve Hopelink. I love this organization so much, and also to serve our amazing and supportive community. Although historically this has been an in-person sold-out event for the second year in a row, this Reaching Out Luncheon is being conducted in a fully virtual format. If this is the first time you're joining us, we welcome you to Hopelink's 26th annual Reaching Out Luncheon, our largest fundraiser every year, and an opportunity to share how Hopelink's programs and services greatly benefit and impact the lives of so many people within our community. This event also provides our guests with the opportunity to join our inspiring conversation about expanding our efforts for racial equity, inclusivity, and being the voice of marginalized communities throughout the programs and services we offer. We have a lot of good insight in store for you today. We will share who we are and how we work with the community to implement programs to eradicate poverty in King and Snohomish counties. First, we'll begin with our panel of Hopelink leaders in a Q&A session about how we revamp our programs to respond to the needs of our neighbors that were negatively impacted by COVID-19 in an unprecedented way. Next, we'll have the honor to hear from our dynamic new CEO, Dr. Catherine Cushingberry, whose love, passion, and drive for Hopelink will inspire you to take action and support Hopelink's mission and vision for our community. You'll join Dr. Cushingberry in an open conversation with special guest, comedian, writer, producer, and political commentator Hassan Minhaj about how we as a community can mobilize our efforts. I'm so looking forward to leaning into this with you. As I mentioned earlier, this is the largest fundraising event for Hopelink. Having you lock arms with us as we unify to make relevant and intentional changes in our thought processes, in the way we embrace differences, and in our actions cultivates huge strides for the right direction for systemic change. Of course, we're here to raise money for our community and our organization. So donating is easy and available at any point during and after the program. There's a donate button right on your screen, and you can also give by texting ROLL for HOPE, that is ROL for HOPE, to the number 41444. Each dollar contributed goes a long way to support Hopelink's programs and services, directly helping families in need right here in our own community. And of course, today is made possible by all of our sponsors that greatly support Hopelink's mission. I want to start by thanking our presenting sponsors, Amazon, Boeing, T-Mobile, and the Lynn and Bruce Gibson Foundation. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to our champion-level sponsors, Overlake Medical Center and Clinics, Expeditors, and FedEx. Thank you to our advocate-level sponsors, Davis Wright Tremaine, Columbia Bank, and the Partners Group. And thank you to all of the partner, community, and neighbor-level sponsors. We are extremely grateful for your support. Now, two of our presenting sponsors have a special message that they want to share with you.
Hello, I'm Gina Bruckelman with the Boeing Company. I have the great pleasure of leading Boeing's corporate philanthropy and employee and community engagement activities here in the Puget Sound region. Boeing has more employees in Washington State than anywhere else in the world, and our employees have a long history of partnership with Hopelink, starting with the organization's founding 50 years ago by Boeing employees who were concerned about the impacts of a declining economy on East King County residents. Since then, thousands of our employees have supported Hopelink as volunteers and as donors, continuing to ensure that Hopelink has the resources and talent needed to help people make lasting change. Congratulations, Hopelink, on 50 years of service to the community. Boeing is proud to be a Hopelink partner.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ricky Tewitt, Vice President of Corporate Responsibility at T-Mobile, and we're thrilled to be a returning sponsor for this year's Reaching Out Luncheon and want to congratulate Hopelink on 50 years of service to our community. Our shared values make Hopelink an incredible partner, and as we all begin to move forward through the long-term impacts of this pandemic, we look forward to supporting Hopelink's mission of helping homeless and low-income individuals in King and Snohomish County gain the skills and knowledge they need to exit poverty for good. Thank you for everything that you guys do.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to Hopelink's 26th annual Reaching Out Luncheon. Hello to everyone. For those of you all who are returning, welcome. And to those of you who are like me, this is your first time. So happy to have you with us today. While I understand we would normally be here in Maidenbauer Center where I stand today, together raising over $1 million, please know that even at a distance, the ways in which we work together will have a great impact, even with us being virtual. Again, I'm Dr. Catherine Cushingberry, and I am from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm so proud to be out here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope my mother is watching. Hello, Ladybug. Glad to see you on. I am so thankful to be able to lead Hopelink. It is an organization that provides services and supports to families like those that I received and my family received, and they were the foundation for me. They were helpful. I was talented, I was smart, I was funny, all of those things. I had aspirations, I had hopes, and I had dreams, and it was organizations like Hopelink that gave that extra boost that allowed me, and along with so many other supports, to stand here today. It is about powering dreams. It is about touching humanity and making sure that people have the opportunity to live out their greatest aspirations. Today, you're going to hear other stories that are possible because the community has truly leaned in with us. The panel today is made up of Hopelink staff, and they're going to share stories from their experiences, from their areas of expertise, and we are so honored that families have chosen to be supported by us and to allow our team members to tell that story. Oh my goodness. Listen, since I was hired, all I heard about was the Reaching Out Luncheon. I am excited about today. We are here. I'm excited not only about today, but also what is to come. As we look ahead to the next few years, I want to be clear that I'm really thinking about, as the leader of Hopelink, three things. One is really about innovation. Here we sit in the Pacific Northwest where there is so much innovation happening around us. And there is innovation that's happening in Hopelink, and we're excited about leading the way and pushing it even further. I'm excited about the ways in which, too, we collaborate and the opportunity to collaborate even deeper, closer to the roots, because it is going to be important for number three, which is about equity, to make sure that our services are received as closely to the roots and across the various communities that we serve in the ways that they need it most. Join me, please join me, in making a commitment as we move forward, because Hopelink is moving forward. Rally on behalf of our neighbors, families, and individuals who are partnering with Hopelink. Stay tuned, okay? Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to have the opportunity to share with you, and I'm excited to have this conversation with our very special guest, Hassan Minhaj. I am thrilled to be here today. Stay tuned, enjoy this experience. I'm so grateful to have you with us today. I'd like to turn this back over to our MC, Jose. Thank you for being with us, Jose, and it's on you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I am so inspired by her leadership and her drive and her enthusiasm. I look forward to so many great things in Hopelink's future. So as Hopelink continues to put the community first, it is exciting to hear and see why we have chosen Catherine as our leader. And you know, I can see her passion, I can see her commitment knows no limit. I am so excited about Hopelink's future and its mission and its vision manifested. So now I want to turn our attention to 4 leaders that stand in the front line of Hopelink's work, and they serve as directors of various programs within the organization. Many of you, members of our community, want to know more, want to hear directly from staff. And this is our chance to collectively hear how Hopelink not only responded during this unprecedented time, but how the organization took an equitable approach to offering the needed services to our community. And in most of these luncheons before, and believe me, I've been to like 15 of this, we typically hear directly from a client. Today, we want to instead focus on those who are in the front lines, our leaders and the staff who work on behalf of the client needs daily. So this is a great opportunity and very unique because we'll have a glimpse into the heart of Hopelink. So for today's conversation, we're going to have Susan Carter, the Director of Non-Emergency Medical Transportation Services. We'll have Lucy Payat, Director of Energy and Financial Assistance. We'll have Matthew Campbell, Director of Food Programs. And we'll have Barbara Hagel, Director of Development. So that's the Q&A panel I have. I'm thrilled about this conversation. Let's get started. So first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I have to say this, thank you for all the work you do. It's amazing. The community values it. The community needs it. So thank you for everything you do. So let's start with having a conversation about some of the things that happened during the pandemic. So let's start with you, Susan. You lead non-emergency medical transportation. So the pandemic came, right? What were the abrupt changes that you and your team had to make in order to serve the community?
Well, my team is one of 6 Medicaid transportation brokers in Washington State. We help low-income individuals get transportation to medical appointments. Since we're a broker, we do not provide service directly. Instead, clients will call us, we'll screen them for the most appropriate type of transportation, and if they're unable to use public transit, we'll distribute the rides to one of several contracted local transportation companies. These transportation companies are small businesses that employ hundreds of drivers throughout King and Snohomish County. And these drivers are often in a sedan type vehicle or a wheelchair equipped van. So there's not a lot of space between them and our clients. Yeah. We're also a shared ride service. So we could group more than one client in the same vehicle at the same time, and that makes for an even tighter fit. When the pandemic first hit, we didn't know what to do right away. We didn't have the ability to keep people 6 feet apart, and we didn't have the option of shutting down. Even in a pandemic, clients need transportation to medical appointments. We had to figure out a way to get people to dialysis and cancer treatment and now COVID-19 testing facilities. And we had to find a way of doing this while keeping them safe. And that's really when our community partners stepped in.
Wow.
Yep. We had drivers, despite the risk, volunteer to transport COVID positive clients. We had these transportation companies implement really rigorous cleaning standards and get very creative in how they created barriers between them and our clients. We communicated often with other brokers and exchanged information and resources as information changed. Also partnered with the healthcare authority to find ways to alleviate some of the financial burden some of our transportation companies were facing, and also to look for transportation gaps that we didn't normally fill, but there's suddenly a need to fill, and oftentimes out of our scope, like taking people home from quarantine sites.
Yeah.
Individuals and agencies donated PPE and disinfectant at a time when we couldn't find any. Without the community partners, we wouldn't have been able to continue service. So we're extremely grateful for their flexibility and their innovation and their collaboration during the entire span of the pandemic.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I am so impressed with how your organization and Hopelink overall was able to, be creative, find innovative solutions, and also work with the community of partners. Because ultimately, people in need needed to get to their medical appointments, to the testing facilities, and to get the medical services they need. So thank you so much. Great. So Lucy, you lead energy and financial assistance. So how did you see your program working across the lines to provide services during the pandemic?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I love answering this question because I think it speaks to so many of the strengths that we have here at Hopelink. At the beginning of the pandemic, we recognized that rental assistance was going to be a huge need, and we saw it from the calls coming in to our centers, a huge increase of requests from people asking for assistance for the very first time, to new arrivals to our country, to those who have worked with us before and saw an already difficult financial economic situation for their household become even more so. So Hopelink committed to a huge rental assistance response. And to do this, we trained 12 team members from our adult education, employment, housing, and case management programs to conduct financial assistance along with our teams to allow us to provide more financial assistance in the first 3 months of the pandemic than we had the entire previous year. That continues today with the strength of our core team and the partnerships that we have in the communities with the cities and local agencies that serve population-specific communities, our BIPOC communities, our immigrant and refugee communities. And we've also been able to partner with them to use our assistance to reach to those trusted sources in communities in the North and East Side to connect to a broad range of clients who need assistance.
That's wonderful. It looks like your team was able to quickly pivot and address the need. Rent, housing is so important, especially as some of the businesses and the economy was suffering. So it's wonderful to see that Hopelink was there for the families in need and for those individuals that could have been evicted or suffered other challenges if you had not stepped in. Thank you. So Matthew Campbell, the Director of Food Programs, and I have to say everybody has heard about Hopelink's food banks, right? So think about this, the pandemic comes, people cannot go physically anymore to those amazing, wonderful grocery-like food banks that Hopelink operates. What do you do?
That's a great question. That's what we had to figure out quickly. Obviously, there wasn't a choice. We knew we wanted to and had to stay open for our clients. So how do we do so? How do we continue to serve food and keep everyone safe? Keep our volunteers, our staff, and our clients all safe. Within 48 hours, I think we've all used the word pivot. We pivoted within 48 hours and created a system where we're pre-packing our boxes for our clients. So we brought in a small group of volunteers and they continue to come in and we're boxing shelf-stable foods for our client. So when a client comes to our centers now, they're not coming inside, but we're greeting them at the door with a shopping cart full of food, pre-packed boxes, shelf-stable food, of produce, of milk, of dairy, and we continue that model today. Yeah. And to date, we've packed almost 200,000 boxes of food for our clients, which is
200,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of boxes. That's a lot of boxes.
Lots of
and that's our volunteers and our staff doing that, which is amazing. The other side of it is, we know, of course, that our existing Hopelink clients would need us more than ever. But we also know that untold numbers of new clients, people who've never been to a food bank, would need us. So how do we react to that? How do we welcome them? We made the decision quickly to eliminate all paperwork, all intake. If you needed food, come to one of our food banks. We're not going to ask you questions or make you do paperwork. Come, we'll feed you. We also wanted to make it simpler, so we simplified our hours and made them consistent across all the sites. So instead of having to go to the website and figure where there was an evening food bank, everyone knows that every Wednesday at any of our centers, you can come in for evening food bank and get food. So we wanted to make it simple and easy for our clients, and we're thankful that to date that we've kept everyone safe, our staff and volunteers, and our clients as well.
Wonderful. I also heard that at some point you couldn't take food donations anymore.
Yeah.
So talk about how the business model had to change very quickly.
Yeah. Beginning of COVID, none of us knew anything about how it was transmitted. So we went very cautious and said, we're not going to bring food in. So we purchased all our food and we quarantined it for 7 to 10 days because at the beginning we thought it was touch potentially. So that's how we had to react to food purchasing.
Wow, wow. And can you tell me a little bit about the changing face of the Hopelink client and how Hopelink expanded to other communities?
Yeah, so I mentioned briefly that we knew there would be clients who had never had to come into a food bank, and we wanted to make it simple and easy. And that was really the key. When it can be intimidating, come into a food bank. It is intimidating, come into a food bank for the first time. So we want to make sure that we're setting up a system that was easy, welcoming, and inclusive for all. And we feel that we've definitely done that.
Thank you. I am amazed of how the organization pivoted and moved so quickly to address this new challenge and to find new solutions to ultimately continue delivering the services to the families in need. So Barbara Hagel, Director of Development for Hopelink, can you tell me how the community that we have here today joining us, that we know is so powerful and so giving, how did the community respond to the new needs based on COVID?
Well, Jose, as you know from your many years of involvement with Hopelink, we live in an incredibly generous and caring community, and that was never more evident as it was when this pandemic hit. Sometimes it was overwhelming. As you mentioned, I think the biggest aha for us in development was when Matt said, we can't take donated food anymore. We're going to have to buy the food. So we said, okay, we'll see what we can do about that. So we created an appeal which included asking for support for the food and also for Lucy's team for rental assistance. Those were really the two big areas that we were going to focus on or needed to focus on. And the community didn't let us down. Like I say, we've been overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. People calling and wanting to know what else can we do.
Wow.
One of the challenges was we need to pack these boxes, we need to distribute these boxes. Our volunteer program changed from having people come in every day and working directly with clients to we need to get these boxes packed, and we were concerned. But people came out, and they still continue to come out every day just to ensure that we have food when people come to our door. So we are incredibly grateful for this community, for what it did during the pandemic, and for what it continues to do.
Wonderful. We are so lucky that we live in this amazing community, that we have people with great heart and the desire to not only, do what's right, but to ensure that other people have what they need. So we're very lucky to have Hopelink in this community, and we're very lucky to have the amazing support of our donors and active community members that really care and want to make a difference. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. It's wonderful. It's so touching to hear what happened. Thank you so much for all the work you have done. It's wonderful to see people like you inspiring not only your team members, but other people in the community to take action. When we see a need out there, we have to take action. We have to do what's in our power to drive positive change. So thank you so much. And I know I'm not saying that just from my heart. I know I am saying that from the audience, from the community, from the CEO, and from everybody who cares about this community. So thank you so much. And now let me turn things back over to Hopelink's CEO, Dr. Catherine Cushingberry, who's going to have an amazing conversation with Hassan Minhaj.
Thank you, Jose. And thank you, Susan, Lucy, Matt, and Barbara, for sharing your stories on behalf of both your amazing staff and the communities you work with, that we work with. Now, on to a very important moment today. It is the chance for you to make a difference. Some of you have already given, and we thank you so much for your support. We also thank our sponsors and pace setters who kicked us off months ago in order to make sure we meet our goal of $1 million today. Now, I have the number in front of me, and I'm excited to share that we have already raised $656,534, which is amazing, and yet still so far away. So if you haven't given, please help us meet our goal of $1 million today. You heard from our panel about how we've responded during these unprecedented times and how this work could not be done. It just can't be done without you. Impact transcends the moment. The goal of impact is for it to last today and for days to come. And each of you, even if you've already given, can make it happen. I mentioned at the beginning that you are investing, you are giving to dreams and hopes. You are also giving to humanity. You're giving to your community members. You are giving to our future. Hopelink, we provide transportation. You've heard about it. You've heard about our food program. You've heard about housing. You've heard about so many programs that we offer, and they are necessary. They are the foundations for family members, and we provide support for the lifespan of our community members. So your investment is not in just one part of our demographic. We are touching so many, and we have to do the work. It's the good work. It's the work that we were destined to do 50 years ago, and 50 and 75 and 100 years from now. We thank you so much. Please donate today. Now, in 100 years, we hope that our service will look different because we will have done so much. But in order for us to get there, we need you today. There's a button on your screen. Press it right now to donate. You can donate via text ROL for HOPE to 41444. We are not shy about how we take donations. We will take checks. You can donate on our website. On behalf of us here at Hopelink, from me, the CEO, Dr. Catherine Cushingberry, the community of our clients, our neighbors, our board members, our volunteers, our friends, thank you. Thank you so much for your support yesterday, today, and moving forward. We appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Catherine. What a great event. Thank you so much for joining us for both the virtual Mix and Mingle and our main event. For those of you who are giving, thank you. Tomorrow you will receive a follow-up message with our final amount raised. But remember, you can continue to give throughout today, and we thank those who do in advance. Overall, as we continue to see how this world transforms with so much at the helm, we also see a huge trend in community support for our neighbors, whose needs have drastically shifted due to circumstances beyond their control. Support for organizations like Hopelink help us lessen the burdens these neighbors experience, and as mentioned throughout this event, make a lasting impression and a lasting change. By supporting Hopelink, we make our community better and stronger. It has been my privilege to MC this event, and I just want to close by thanking Hopelink and all of you for everything you do. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.